Hello and welcome to the Superintendent's Perspective. I'm Lisa Ayala with Edinburg CISD Public Relations, and I'm joined today by Dr. Mario Salinas, Superintendent of Schools, and Mr. Antonio Ballesteros, the Director of After School Programs. And today we are going to discuss esports and the excitement and benefits of not quite in UIL, but of the esports program.
It's an after school program.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So before we go there, I know that last episode we talked about the UIL tournament that we had, two tournaments leading to the Thanksgiving break on UIL. So we're going to continue a little bit about that. I think esports is something that is, I think they're going to pilot the activity as a UIL event.
Yes.
Yes? They're going to pilot, or is it already a UIL?
They're going to be piloting drone technology, drone competitions. But on the radar for the UIL Legislative Committee is, of course, the esports as well.
Now,
so that might be coming in the
many
future.
people don't know what esports is. She may not know, I may not know either. Now, what we do know in visiting schools, after school programs, esports is probably the more popular one of all of them, just based on the sheer numbers of students that participate in esports. And I watch the children play with their gaming equipment, and there's a whole bunch of students. I really don't understand it. Can you explain it to?
Esports is basically competitive, just like chess and robotics, and it gives the students an opportunity to put their gaming skills to the test. So the kids rehearse, they practice against one another there at the campus level, with the expectation that at some point down the road, they will be competing against other schools.
We started introducing a little bit of gaming to our kids while we're doing some reviews in the class. We learned how they kind of were like playing games on, not just on the reviews, but on the side also. So we started implementing some video games after school. We started off with some Nintendo Switches. Eventually we escalated and we started going into some computer gaming. We saw that some of these kids that wouldn't talk to other students, they started communicating a lot more easier because they had something more in common to be talking to each other about. So we kind of opened that little communication between some of the students that were nonverbal most of the time here in class.
There's actually an upcoming tournament on December the 3rd, this Saturday, and it's going to be, for the first time ever, ECISD is going to be holding an esports tournament. It is going to revolve around kids, 10 from each campus.
Just for our school?
Yeah. Only for our schools, right. Yeah, because this is the first time ever. This is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
First time ever. Middle school, high school campuses will be able to bring 10 students, and they're going to be competing with Smash Brothers. Okay, the Smash Brothers is going to be the game where they're going to be competing against one another.
What's Smash Brothers? I've never heard of it.
Smash Brothers is kind of like a Super Mario type of game. Kids are going to be able to accumulate points, and based on the end of the game, I think it's going to be probably, 5-minute games. So 5-minute games, kids are going to be competing one against another. And the good thing about this is that the kids are going to be randomly select their opponents. They're going to be entered into a computer bracket, and the bracket will determine exactly who is going to be their opponent. And depending on how they do on the best of 3 games, then they'll be able to advance to the next level.
It's like a double elimination. If you lose twice, you're out, or you lose once, you're out, or nobody gets eliminated, you just keep accumulating points, or how does it work?
You do accumulate points.
You don't get eliminated.
You do get eliminated, but this is where the bracket is going to be determined. And if you beat your opponent, at Super Smash Brothers, then you'll be able to continue to the next level. See, but you got to win 2 out of 3 games. Okay, and so that is the way you start accumulating points. And at this particular competition that our middle school and high school students are going to be preparing for, and they've been preparing for, we're going to recognize the first, second, and third place in middle school, and the first, second, and third place in the high school level. But there will be one grand champion, like a sweepstakes for one person.
Is there like a sweepstakes for like a team? Let's say Bio Garza takes a team and they may not win individually, but as a team they win. Is there like a team sweepstakes or no?
At this time, it's going to be individual. Because the competition is
not
individual.
Not okay.
And is it more geared towards individuals? Is this more of an individual sport, or is it a team sport? How does it work?
It is, even though the campuses can actually enter up to 10 students,
Right.
Each student is going to be competing individually, of course, representing their school.
Right.
But that's the way they're going to be competing. As far as recognizing the teams, I'm sure that there'll be a way if you have more students that are
How many
winning.
teams are competing at the middle and at the high?
We're talking about 11 or 12 teams.
Can a school
sorry.
submit 2 or 3 teams?
No, the maximum they can submit is 10. Everybody's going to be submitting their maximum of 10 students. And so we're expecting about 120, maybe 130 students participating.
And no elementary.
No elementary yet. We are inviting, however, because I know that the elementary level, like I said, it is a very popular,
Very
Very popular.
very
yes.
popular,
seen
and
it.
they're asking, when are we going to have an opportunity to compete?
Esport is great because I use my mind and different strategies. I've learned that winning isn't always, you don't have to always win. I want to do this until I'm a senior in high school. Whether if I win or lose, I learn a lot. Esports is great and everyone should join.
So we're inviting our elementary esports sponsors to go and volunteer at this tournament coming up this Saturday, or to be able to go and observe for 1 or 2 hours. Because I think it's important for them to go back and tell their kids, this is what you can expect.
Or take the children themselves to go see.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I think this is video games, but this is rigorous video games. This is video games that are challenging, that are engaging. I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, this is not just simple go, you put in a quarter like we used to do back in the day, and it's just kind of simple. This is rigorous stuff. This is, I mean, everything is working. All cylinders are
I
firing.
know there's like a video board, and then there's one of the students is here, another student is here, and they got their little toolbar, the tools, whatever they use to maneuver
Yeah.
a car or a
Whatever's on the
figure.
screen.
Is that the way it works? There's 2 people
Well-
next to each other, or they're
Well,
sitting down?
in a typical setup at the classroom level, elementary, middle, or high school, typically the hosting classroom, the sponsor has set up about maybe 2 or 3 or 4, even up to 4. It's kind of like a gaming room where you have big giant screens and the kids are connecting their Nintendo Switches and they're able to see, how they're performing. For this particular competition, the students are going to be competing against one another. And there's going to be a screen that could be displaying, different games going on at the same time.
Okay. Is it virtual reality or is it just regular?
It's going to be regular.
Okay.
It seems to me that for me to understand it, I have to be there to see
Yes,
it,
absolutely.
to see
Right.
how it works, right?
And
Yeah.
because this is the first ever, we wanted to start small, but at the same time, we wanted to invite the community, the parents, the elementary sponsors, even though they're not taking their
The
kids to
parents
compete.
can go and see.
They can. We're going to set up an area on the back. We don't know what kind of crowd is going to be there, but
Sure.
but the competition is going to be at Robert Vela High School this Saturday,
Okay.
and the competition will be in the pit, which is at the front of the cafeteria, and then surrounded by areas where parents and community members that want to come and watch can go ahead and be there. So at the end, for the finals, the kids actually are going to be placed on the stage with big giant screens that are going to
Wow.
be showing exactly what's going on with the.
So we'll
with
be
the
able
game.
to see what they see
Correct.
while they're actually playing. So that should become very exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be cheering,
What time
I'm
does
sure.
it start?
Registration is going to be starting at 7:45. The
Okay.
game itself is going to start at 8:45. There will be at 8:30 a welcoming, going over the tournament rules and expectations.
Is it popular at the secondary level? The
It is
esports?
very popular
Or
at
is
the
it gaining
secondary level.
popularity, or is it
Yes.
popular already? I know that I had a parent come and talk to me when I was an assistant superintendent 3 or 4 years ago about the possibility of starting an esports club in Edinburg. I think the parents was out of the South. Because that was completely foreign to me. I said, well, I'll look into that. And now it's here.
When we first started esports, our attendance was kind of small. But once other kids started getting the word of like, hey, we're playing competitive games against other students, we started getting more and more numbers. Eventually, we got too many numbers that we actually had to break it apart and split it between different days. So instead of it being only 1 day of esports, now we have 4 days of esports that we actually do. And most of the time, those we have about maybe 20, 25 kids that come into the program every day. And it's usually different students. But then we also have our regulars that come in back because they're the ones that kind of started the program up.
How about that?
At the elementary, they can have up to two sponsors. Okay, and typically you want about 20 students before you get a second sponsor, right? One elementary shared with me that they had up to 90
That's a lot of
students,
kids.
and they divide they divide the lower grade levels, and then they have the 4th and 5th grade.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then some of these schools, they just don't have this type of equipment at home
Right.
because of resources, for whatever reason, right? Parents may not even want the children to have this stuff at home, right? But, and well, you and I have
Yes.
seen it out there.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be there.
Absolutely, super popular. So popular, in fact, that tomorrow, Thursday, Region 1 is going to have their first ever Esports Summit. They're inviting districts, they're inviting sponsors, they're inviting district personnel, and they're going to have activity sessions on how to recruit for esports, how to host a tournament, and there'll be vendors in place as well. So this is a big thing that's coming, and I think eventually, like you mentioned, Dr. Salinas, the expectation would be that this could be part of the UIL competition.
Well, we did an interview and we spoke to an athlete who actually plays soccer, he plays football, and he's also involved in esports. And he said he really enjoyed being able to kind of join the two different worlds. He enjoyed the, being in the UIL environment and doing esports, and then being in the athletic world and doing that. He liked the interaction. He liked being part of the two different things, and it was very competitive. It was engaging. He just really loved it.
I was thrilled because I had just gotten into Smash a few months ago before. I was like, oh, that seems fun. I could do that. It's more competition outside of sports. I like doing it when I'm free. When I'm free of my time, I get to play games. I get to hang out with my friends and stuff like that.
And so, what about this is so popular? Do you think in terms of how it's rigorous and how it lends itself to all of that?
Well, I think we're dealing with a new generation of student, a student that is very connected to technology.
Yeah.
And so this kind of taps into those technology skills.
Got
and I
it.
think, these are the skills of the future as well. So in a way, I think that it follows what is the norm and trends for student learning.
Yeah, I go home and, when I get in the house, I have a teenager and an 11-year-old, right? They're both in their computers.
Right.
Either on their iPhone or iPad or on their computers, right? And then I'll relax for a little bit, and I'll lounge around the house. And if I don't tell them, get off of the machine,
Right.
they won't even eat supper.
That's right. Well, now.
Don't even eat supper. Hey, get off of it. So it's just to get attracted to that.
Yes.
Now they're going to be saying that
Hey,
I'm getting
Dad,
ready for competition.
That's right. This is part of my work. This is part of study. Now they're going to have an excuse.
Yeah, and then mom gets after the maid and put those things away.
That's right. That's right. That's amazing.
I'm excited. Text me Saturday morning as a reminder.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to go see it. My son has a basketball game early, as soon as I'm done there, I'll go work my way out to River Vela.
The hours are going to be for the competition itself, 8:45 to about maybe 12.
And it's ongoing. There's no break in between, nothing. They just kids competing with each other for 3 or 4 hours.
Yes,
straight.
and like I said, this is the first time that CISD will ever host a tournament like this.
Yeah,
And
well,
so-
our team will
Send a
be.
team out there.
Our team will be out there. Yes.
But I think that the hope is that it's going to be continuous.
Yes.
But you want to space out a little bit more too, and then have a word ceremony at the end.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to see who wins, and we'll be
I'm very
there to
curious,
document
and
everything.
I'll be there Saturday, either before the basketball game or after the basketball game.
Yeah.
But I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be sure to wrap up everything with the esports competition next week and let you know how it all went. As for this episode, we want to thank you all for joining us for this week's Superintendent's Perspective. And as always, stay healthy and stay safe.